Hello learners, I am Dr. Subodh Kesharwani working with Indira Gandhi National Open University in School of Management Studies. The topic which I am going to talk today is sequel to what we have talked in our preceding session, that is probability under statistical independence. And today we are going to talk something which is quite similar to what we have done in our preceding session, but there we were talking about the independence, here we are talking more about the dependence. So, but on the other hand, the conditional, the marginal, the joint is more or less the same. So, we are going to talk with respect to that, but here we are focusing on the statistical dependence. Prior to going into the depth of this topic, I just want to throw a light that this is part of our cold score MCO3, Research Methodology and Statistical Analysis. And we are here with the fourth block, which is very important block because it focuses on the testing, and probability testing. Testing through probability is one of the important ingredients because since the whole population is based on the since probability is emphasized more on the population. So I think how you are going to cater the population, cater the target population, and then narrow down yourself to the sample. This is where the statistical dependence is quite important. So we have already covered numerous sessions focusing on the probability, the preamble part of probability, then probability rules, and then the certain terminologies, and then probability under statistical independence had already been covered in our preceding session. If you just recapitulate yourself with that video, and now in this particular video we are more focusing on probability under statistical dependence. So this lecture introduced quite a few new concepts, again joint probabilities, marginal probabilities, and subsequently also conditional probabilities, vis-a-vis the dependence between events or random variables. So finally the relationship between conditional probability in two directions, Bayes' law is going to explain at a later stage with the new video or the separate the video presentations. So anyway, we are just focusing on today this probability under statistical dependence. So if you see this particular image which is coming on your screen, I think statistical dependence exists when the value of some variable is dependent upon or affected by the value of some other variable. So we have seen that the left side we have independent variables and right side we have functional relations, and then you see how this statistical dependence is going to balance, or rather we can say bridge the gap between the two components, that is independent variables and functional relations. So with the figure is quite self-explanatory in nature, which can give the glimpse about the clear view about the statistical dependence. So if you talk more about the dependent events, two events are dependent when the outcome of the first event influences the outcome of the second event. The probability of two dependent events is the product of the probability of x and the probability of y after x occurs. So types of dependence, if you are going to talk about, if you take example of association between two nominal data, mixed if we are talking about between a nominal and ratio data, that is head and head 1 and head 2. So correlation among the ratio data is also one of the example of dependency, and we have seen that in our preceding sessions when we are talking more about the correlation and regression, or when we talk about the simple correlation or the multiple regression analysis, there we have seen that how the dependent variable is going to play a very important role, or the independent variable is going to play a very important role, because in the multiple variable case we have seen that the dependent variable is fixed, but on the other hand independent variable is varying from one or more than one, whereas in simple regression analysis we have one dependent variable and one independent variable. So anyway, all those the terminology which we are using in statistics is quite linked with one another and work as a chain. So it's not like that what we have studied in our preceding session is not going to help the learners over here, but it's going to be quite fruitful if you are going to recapitulate the terminologies which we have already used in our preceding session and try to interlink with the coming session. So anyway, this dependent events are events which are not dependent, and dependent events are events which are not independent, or we can say, so in repeated sampling events will be dependent if individuals are not replaced. If we have a classroom of 25 students and we randomly select 2 students, the probability will change. So if we draw a card from a deck and then draw another card, the probabilities are changing. So technically this change will occur even for large populations, Technically, this change will occur even for large populations, but we will see that for large populations the change is negligible, and thus the events will be taken to be effectively independent. So we will look at these calculations soon, and we will interested in testing to see if two events are associated in the population. The concept of association between variables in data and the idea of dependent events are closely tied that need to be focused. So two more events are said to be statistically dependent if the occurrence of any one event affects the probability of occurrence of the other event. There are three types of probability under statistical dependence, like the case which we have discussed in the independent statistics, where conditional probability is there, joint probability is there, and then marginal probability is there. So on the same lines, under the ambit of statistical dependence, we are going to consider the conditional probability, joint probability and marginal probability in a gradual manner, one by one, and we start with the conditional probability under condition of statistical dependence. So we shall first discuss the concept of conditional probability as it forms the basis for joint and marginal probability concept under statistical dependence. So the conditional probability of event A, given that the event B has already been occurred, can be calculated as probability of A by B equals to probability AB divided by probability of B. So if we go more into the depth of conditional probability under statistical dependence, you will find out that conditional probability is defined as the likelihood of an event or outcome occurring based on the occurrence of a previous event or outcome. Conditional probability is calculated by multiplying the probability of the preceding event by the updated probability of the succeeding or conditional event. So conditional probability is the probability of an event given that another event occurs. How probability of the activity distribution would change conditional on gender. If we are going to take example, mathematically the conditional probability of A given B equals the joint probability of A and B, and it should be divided by marginal probability of event B. So conditional probability explanation with an example is that conditional probability is the probability of one event occurring with some relationship to one or more other events. And if we go into the depth of the example or the illustration, event A is that it is raining outside and it has a 0.3%, which we can say the 30% chance of raining today. Event B is that you will need to go outside, and that has a probability of 0.5, which is coming to 50%. So now what is the difference between probability and conditional probability? Probability of A intersection B and probability of A by B or A given to B are closely related, and there only one difference is that conditional probability assumes that we already know something that B is true. Probability of A by B, however, will receive a probability between 0 if A cannot happen when B is true, and probability B. So if A is always true when B is true. So conditional probability, if you are going to emphasize with the help of the pictorial diagram, you see that we have a Venn diagram where two circles are there, and this is the overlapping portion. So this overlap, and this blue circle is talking about the A, and the green circle, outer line of the green circle is talking about the B, and the A intersection B is just the overlapping area, which is a common area of A and B. So probability of A by B equals to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B, and this is the formula by which we have done it. And so conditional probability formula is more talking about, that is probability of A given B, which we can denote like, we can read probability of A by B as probability of A given B, and probability of A and B and probability of B. It can be also read as this way. So what does conditional distribution means? A conditional distribution is a probability distribution for a subpopulation. In other words, it shows the probability that a randomly selected item in a subpopulation has a characteristics you are interested in. This is a regular frequency distribution table, but you can place conditions on it. So conditional probability is one of the most important and fundamental concepts in probability theory, but conditional probability can be quite slippery and might require careful interpretations. For example, there need not be a causal relationship between A and B, and they don't have to occur simultaneously. So now, since we are talking more about the continuous probability, now we are focusing on the second part of this joint probability under statistical dependence. So This is an extension of the multiplication rule of probability involving two or more events which have been discussed in the previous section under statistical independence. So we have already taken this particular head under the statistical independence, but since here we are focusing more on the statistical dependence, so this could be one of the way by which we are going to do that. So statistical dependence, if we are talking about with respect to joint probability, is calculating is an extension of the multiplication rule of probability involving two or more events, and for calculating joint probability of two or more events under the statistical independence condition, the probability that values of different variables co-occur are called joint probabilities. Such joint probabilities can be summed over one variable to form so-called marginal probabilities, the probabilities for a single variable. So what we have seen that, if you see the image event 1, we have got two circles. One circle is talking about event 1 and other circle is talking about event 2. So now if you talk about the joint probability, that is probability of A intersection B, it is read as, you see this particular arrow where you find out that some of the overlapping area is considered as a joint probability, where the common the portion is going to be taken care. So joint probability is calculated by multiplying the probability of event A expressed as probability A by the probability of event B expressed as probability B. For example, suppose a statistician wishes to know the probability that the number 5 will occur twice when two dice are rolled at the same time. So why is joint probability distribution useful? This is quite important because when two or more random variables are defined on a probability space, it is useful to describe how they vary together. That is, it is useful to measure the relationship between the variables. A common measure of the relationship between two random variables is the covariance. After talking, these two aspects, the third is the marginal probability and the statistical dependence. In probability theory and statistics, the marginal distribution of a subset of a collection of random variables is probability distribution of the variables contained in the subset. It gives the probability of various values of the variables in the subset without reference to the values of the other variables. This contrasts with a conditional distribution which gives the probabilistic contingent upon the values of the other variables, and marginal variables are those variables in the subset of variables being retained. These perceptions are marginal for the reason that they can be established by summing values in a table along rows or columns and writing the sum in the margins of the table. So the distribution of the margin variables, the marginal distribution is achieved by marginalizing, that is focusing on the sums in the margin over the distribution of the variable being discarded, and the discarded variables are said to have marginalized out. The circumstances here is that the theoretical study is being commenced or the data analysis is being done and draws a wider set of random variables, but that attention is being limited to reduce number of those variables. So in many applications, the testing may start off with a given collection of random variables, then first extended the set by defining new ones, such as the sum of the original random variables, and ultimately trim down the number by placing interest in the marginal distribution of a subset, such as the sum. So several different analyses may be prepared, each treating a different subset of variables as the marginal variables. So if you see this particular the table, which is quite self-explanatory in nature, and it's quite useful when you are going to talk about the marginal properties under statistical dependence, and the way how we are going to compute by simply summing up the probabilities of all the joint events where the simple event occurs. So probability of A is probability of AB plus AC, like probability of man equals to probability of man employed plus probability of man student. So we have seen that employed man is first 3 and the probability is 0.1, and if you see the student man is 0.1. So if we sum up this, the probability of man employed plus probability of man student is equal to 0.3, which is sum of first 3, 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.1, which is coming 0.3, and sum of this student man, that is 0.2. So the total is coming 0.5, and probability of woman is probability of employed woman plus probability of student woman. So this is there. So what we have seen that probability of employed woman is 0.1 and student woman is in green, which is 4, that is 0.4. So total is coming 0.5. So probability of E, that is probability of employed men plus probability of employed women. It's first three, that is 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, that is event number 1, 2, 3, and this 0.1 is employed woman, that is event number 4. So 0.3 plus 0.1 comes to 0.4. In the same manner, if we talk about probability of students, so student men and student women. So student men are 2, that is event number 5 and 6, which is coming 0.2, and student woman is 4, that is event number 7, 8, 9 and 10, which is coming 0.4. So what we have done, if we talk about that, it's quite clear that marginal properties under statistical independence are computed by simply summing up the probabilities of all the joint events where the simple events occur. So what we have done, we have simply summed up the event and get the calculation by this way. So this is the best way of calculating the marginal properties. So anyway, I think by this way we have talked a lot about statistical independence, we have talked a lot about statistical dependence, and a lot of concepts had been created as far as the probability is concerned, as far as the the probability rules are concerned. So now, after talking so much about it, we are moving towards the Bayes theorem, which is a very important theorem as far as the probability is concerned, which is, and also the end of this particular chapter. So once we accomplish this chapter 13, then we, or rather we can say the unit 13, we can move to a next chapter which is more focusing on the probability distribution. And there are certain types of distribution which also need to be taken care in the forthcoming session, and by this way we can wind up this particular session and request our learners to just recapitulate or go through the particular terminologies, because these terminologies are quite frequently as far as their usage are concerned. So it's not like that the chapters which are in statistics are just confined to that particular domain. Once you start trying to test or try to interrelate or try to recapitulate yourself, then you find out that these terminologies are quite important and have a lot of usefulness, not in their subject, but wherever when you move towards. So that is the reason if you see this particular course talking about research methodology and statistical analysis, is more focusing on the concept building, then how you are going to enhance, try to apply the concept, and then try to test the concept, and finally how you are going to execute the thing so that the results can come up. So this particular block which focus on the testing is more emphasized on the testing, either it could be the probability testing or hypothesis testing, or certain tests which are going to be taken care in a more elaborative manner in coming sessions, like t-test, ANOVA test, or the certain statistical test with the help of technology can also be used. So we request our learners to just recapitulate our videos which we have already done in our preceding sessions, so that more can be built up and more concepts can be used for trying to interrelate the things. Thank you very much.